Hello all you whiskey junkies out there, this is Mark from WhiskyWhistle, bringing you whiskey review number 16. Today we're going to be looking at Cutty Sark and their unique offering called Prohibition. What's so unique about it? Well, it's 50% ABV, alcohol by volume, and additionally it is unchill-filtered, which is quite interesting for a blended Scotch whiskey. Blended Scotch, you ask? What is that? Well, that's a blend of single malt, which is the hot thing in the world today, and also grain whiskey. Now, as Scotch whiskey, just like everything else, it must be aged 3 years in oak barrels and blended and bottled in Scotland. So those are the rules, and well, this one has taken the parameters and did something quite lovely with it. So first of all, let's start by pouring that. Cool bottle. Looks really kind of antique-ish, and pretty cool that it's a black bottle rather than the typical the clear bottles or the green bottles that are quite common. In fact, usually Cutty Sark uses a green bottle. Now, the nice thing about that is the brand has less to worry about as far as the color of the whiskey on the shelf, so they can worry more about the flavors rather than what color it is. So anyway, let's get that open. Nice also having a cork rather than a screw top. However, screw tops are not necessarily something that tells you that a whiskey isn't any good. Anyway, so we'll pour a healthy drum. Let's need a little bit more. There we go. Quite a tight-fitting cork too. Anyway, let's get into that, shall we? First, we're going to taste it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the brand and about this particular offering too. Okay, color-wise, so that's a fairly light amber. There may be color added, doesn't say there isn't, but if so, very little, and well, it doesn't really affect the flavor in this case as far as I'm concerned. When you smell this, the first thing you're going to notice is a salted caramel note, so that's quite nice. There's also some mild peat, and being that it's aged in American oak, as they tell us, there is also some vanilla notes, and I'm finding some sandalwood. So anyway, quite a lovely complex nose. Sea salt also. So in line with the brand, you're getting a bit of a maritime note in there with the sea salt and the peat, as well as some just classic American oak notes or bourbon notes of vanillas and toffees and spice. So quite lovely. Cheers, everyone. Now, the taste, however, you get quite a rush of sweetness, but again, it's a sweetness that has a bit of sour to it to really accentuate the sweetness. To explain what I mean, imagine orange marmalade. It's sweet, however, there's a sourness to it, which just adds something to it that really makes it very enjoyable. The sweetness I'm finding is an apple pear sort of a flavor, apples and pears, not the apple pear, and some spice notes, which in this case I would say are of a cinnamon nature. And there's also just a very slight bit of the corn whiskey, which was likely included in the blend to sort of round it out. Anyway, let me try another taste of that. And again, at 50%, it's very, very drinkable. Anyway, very lovely. Finish-wise, sweet and sour balance is perfect. There's a little bit of perilla leaf, which is something that is eaten in Korea like a salad green. Kind of minty, a little bit herbal. And you're left with a tiny bit of peat and a little bit of astringency as well. Quite lovely. Now let's try it with a bit of water. See how much I've got there. I'm going to put in 2 little teaspoons here. So roughly, well, close to 10 milliliters added there. Get that mixed up a little bit. And what I find with the water, the sweetness is really accentuated. So please do give that a try with a little bit of water. And what I get with water is a butter toffee. So you've moved from a salted caramel to a butter toffee. The peat has really dissipated. Likewise, a little bit less salt than without water. Great. Well, let's taste that with a little bit of water. Now the sourness, while very luscious, has sort of subsided, leaving a little bit more sweetness. Slightly less sour. Now more of a spiced, cooked apple sort of a flavor that's going on there. So the fresh cinnamon, the fresh apples and the cinnamon from the neat flavor, cooked together, mellowed out, a little bit sweeter, a little bit less sour, and that's what I'm getting. And boy, these fruit flies, they just live forever. They're well, the one that's in the room has decided to hone in on the Cutty Sark. You stay away from my Cutty Sark. I showed him or her. What else? Interestingly enough, an unusual note that I've never experienced before. I'm going to try one more time just to make sure that I'm not just giving you a line. Get out of here. Wrigley's Juicy Fruit. So that's interesting. Now, juicy fruit does not contain fruit. What it does contain, however, are the esters of fruits that you find naturally. Interesting. I think it's a bit of citrus combined with a little bit of maybe banana and other sweeter fruit notes. I think I got it. No. Okay, enough with that fruit fly. The finish, again, pretty much the same. That doesn't really change, I think, with water so much, depending on what it is. But I still taste the that slight astringency. So I'll liken it to maybe like the pear skin, the skin of the pear. Okay, so that's the finish. Well, let's just get right into the score for this one. This is going to get a solid 85. Now, I think it is just fantastic that a big brand such as Cutty Sark and a huge company called Edrington would take one of their standard blended Scotch whiskies and leave it au naturel without chill filtering. So cheers to Edrington Group and to the Cutty Sark people for leaving this basically intact. Also, the fact that it's 50%. So that presents not only value for the customer, but also it allows the the flavors in the malt, in the whiskey, and the scent, the nose that you get to really sing. So good job with that one. 85 out of 100 for Cutty Sark Prohibition. I'm going to try one more little taste of that. This is something I think that you could drink neat and then just go up by increments of 1 or 2 drops until you hit the sweet spot for you. Very good. All right, so what about Cutty Sark? So 1923 was when this brand was born. Berry Brothers and Rudd, they are the ones who came up with this particular brand right in the middle of the Prohibition period. Now, maybe you can't see that on the bottle there, but right here it says the real McCoy. And why do we see that? Well, the story goes that William McCoy was, I guess, what is known as a rum runner. So bringing illicit alcohol into the U.S. For profit. And as the story goes, Cutty Sark was one of the Scotch whiskies that frequented his boat. So that's pretty cool. Well, this is what it says on the back of the bottle, which we'll get to in a minute. Crafted as a salute to the notorious Captain William McCoy, who smuggled Cutty Sark blended Scotch whiskey to America during the Prohibition era of the 1920s. So interesting. And the Cutty Sark people have declared this as a small batch. What does that mean exactly? Well, it's pretty ambiguous, but surely the batch size for Prohibition would be much smaller than for the regular Cutty Sark. So where does Edrington come in? 2010 is when they bought the brand from Berry Brothers and Rudd. And who's the person behind this brand now? Well, it's a woman, and her name is Kirsten Campbell. And she's rolling around on the iPad there. We'll see her in a minute. So she joined Edrington in 2007 and took the helm at Cutty Sark in 2010. So interesting. Now, seems like a fairly strong-willed person to rise that high in an industry that quickly. I believe she's younger than me. So hats off to her. Did we miss her? Well, we'll see. And so what else? Oh, another cool thing about Cutty Sark. Cutty Sark actually happened to be that's Captain McCoy there. Cutty Sark actually happened to be the first Scotch whiskey, I believe maybe also the first alcoholic beverage to enter outer space. So very cool. Astronaut Gordon Cooper brought up 5 centiliters or 50 milliliters of Cutty Sark along with a few, there she is. So that's Kirsten Campbell. Thank you very much to you. And there's an old bottle. And if you can't see that, it says blended Scots whiskey. So formerly known as Scots whiskey rather than Scotch whiskey. They changed it at some point in 2005, in fact, so fairly recent. Anyway, so the first Scotch to hit outer space, and also made famous in 2007. Since then, with the release of Mad Men. So apparently, Cutty Sark makes a regular appearance in the whiskey swilling gents on that program, and ladies. So very cool. Anyway, anything else to share? No, I don't think so. So let me just raise my glass to Miss Kirsten Campbell. Very good job, and keep it up. Let's hope we'll have some more cool products like Prohibition hit the market in the near future. And to all of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me just have another little taste. Oh, one more cool thing. Another cool thing about this bottle is the price. Now, I paid $24 for this, US dollars. And boy, I tell you, Unchillfiltered, 50% ABV, that has, I think, a lot of fans reaching for this bottle at the store. And I'm sure that you will too. So tune in again next time with Whiskey Whistle, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.